Hello everybody. Today I'm just going to be making a quick video updating you guys on my polling plans for my HSR accounts. So let's get straight into it. When it comes to my free-to-play Anoxa account, I was actually thinking of benching this account like literally not too long ago and just completely focusing on my Cassie account since, well, that's the one with the biggest lead since I actually spent money on it, right? It has E2S1 Cassie, it has E2S1 Evernight, it has Hyacine, it has Cyrene, it has an E0S1 Phanon, it has an Anoxa. Like, damn, right? It's pretty stacked as compared to my free-to-play account, because obviously I spent money, and I was planning to just bench it. However, with the buffed Sparkle stuff that came out of nowhere for me at the time, right? I have to say my interest in playing my Anoxa account has piqued itself again. Because now, before I already didn't have Sparkle for Archer, right? She was already better than Sunday for Archer, but I was kind of coping with just using Sunday because I was confident that Sparksy would end up being like an Acheron situation or like the Herda or a Glea situation where they're the first DPS of a new version, and even without their best in slot team, they kind of power creep the shit out of the older version. But this didn't happen, right? Against all odds, the newest DPS released in HSR in the new version isn't the strongest DPS, right? At least not right now without her best in slot team. On top of this, her Eidolon investment and stuff like that also isn't really that broken either. So she just feels like she fits in with the version 3 cast in terms of power level, which like overall is a good thing. It's just a little shocking, right? But because of this, it's made me kind of go, maybe I do want to reinvest into this buff Sparkle, because apparently the new Sparkle, just in terms of buffing, makes characters like, let's say, Archer 26% stronger as compared to before, and this isn't taking into account the QOL for her getting her ult up quicker, the fact that her buff now does last 2 turns instead of 1, the fact that she now generates 6 skill points instead of 4, or the fact that she can overcap on skill points. So this means you can use the ult earlier and you won't technically lose on skill points at all. Whenever you've used up enough skill points on your screen or whatever with a character, and then the next character's turn takes action, the SP will immediately be transferred to the actual bar, right? So she's gotten all these buffs, and apparently this new Sparkle is on average around like 40+% stronger for a lot of these teams as compared to old Sparkle. And now Archer is like mid Amphoreus DPS level, nearing high, which is incredibly impressive for a character who most just attained free, and some even got his Lycone free as well because of the 200 pull spending event during 3.4, like I did on my free-to-play account. I got that pulling on Tribbian Sunday, right? So because of all this, the stars are kind of aligning, because it's like all I need to do, right? All I need to do is pick up one support. I don't even need to pull their Lycone. I don't even need to go into their Eidolons. I just pull this one character, and then the second main DPS I've been using on my free-to-play Anoxa account for so long just gets an insane glow up and goes back to completely demolishing the content, right? That is a no-brainer in my opinion. So my Anoxa account will be picking up buff Sparkle. However, what will he do after this, right? Will he be investing in Sparksy? Obviously not. Okay, I'm not gonna pull any strings here. I'm not gonna pull Sparksy because she just contend with Sparkle for my Archer, and it just wouldn't be good for me, right? What I actually plan to do on my Anoxa account is, of course, get Cyrene on her rerun, because for those who may have forgotten or not seen, I did lose my 50-50, so Cyrene-less Anoxa currently. However, after this, and what people really want to hear, is Yai, right? I will be going for Yai Sakura on my free-to-play account instead of my Cassie account. And so my 3 main DPS teams would be Yai, Archer, and as well as Inoxa, and this is something I am really looking forward to, right? So wish me luck on that journey for the free-to-play account, and now we'll move on quickly to my Cassie account. Now, my Cassie account was the one I originally planned to pull Yai Sakura on, but because this account is so broken, right, like overpowered, there isn't really any other way for me to put it. I think that I would rather, pull more leisurely, as one could say, on that account as compared to my free-to-play account that could use me spending my pulls wisely, better. So when it comes to my Cassie account, instead of going for Yai, I think I will be pulling Sparksy, right? I will be pulling Sparksy. It's not really a smart decision. There's no guarantee I can even afford to get Yao Guang or Buff Sparkle for my Sparksy when she drops, right? There's a lot of things that it's like, why would you do this, right? It doesn't make any logical sense. But once again, this account is just so insanely overpowered, it doesn't matter. So for that reason, I will be just doing a completely personal pull, nothing to do with meta, and going for Sparksy on that account, because I don't like pulling the same character on two different accounts, right? This has been a big thing. There's no point in me playing two different accounts if I'm playing the same characters on them, and so that's kind of what I want to do. Now, there is a single caveat to this, right? The caveat is, if I lose my 50-50 for Sparksy, there's a real chance that I end up just investing into my Phanon, which I've basically left untouched on my Cassie account, and making him E2, right? That is a real thing that I am considering, because, he's E0S1, he's just kind of sitting there, right? He's literally just sitting there on my account. I don't ever need to use him for anything unless I'm, for whatever reason, actually caring about clearing anomaly arbitration. And because Sparksy, once again, does not power creep so far, even with one of her best in slots releasing on her patch, and as well as this Buff Sparkle, it feels like I feel a lot more comfortable reinvesting into an older character, right? Now, once again, as mentioned earlier, I would prefer to get newer characters that I haven't played with before on these accounts, so that's why I want to go for Sparksy first. But if I lose the 50-50, it's like I can't get Yao Guang, I can't get her Lyco, and then I also can't get Buff Sparkle, right? It's already looking incredibly fucking scuffed, and there's no way I'm gonna feel comfortable or it's gonna be fun using an E0 Sparksy, right? So worst case scenario, I seriously consider reinvesting into my Phanon to make him E2 in my third main DPS for my Cassie account, or I end up going, all out for Sparksy anyways. Who knows, right? This is the one thing I cannot guarantee. So those are my pulling plans for both of my accounts, including my free-to-play one. There's no guarantees here, right? I do think a 1 cycle or a 2 cycle is very likely on my free-to-play account, but I am curious. I think it may be possible for me to do a true 0 cycle on my free-to-play account once I'm able to pull Buff Sparkle, but no promises on me actually making a video on that or following up on it, right? So outside of that, I got one last thing to say. I did get accepted into Silver Palace Beta. That's why it's downloaded over here. Low-key, I forgot I signed up for that shit, and then I checked my email and saw it. So yeah, I will be giving Silver Palace a try, and I believe I can probably share information about it whilst the beta is going on. So I'll of course give you guys that stuff as well. Hope you have a great day. Hope you have a great night. Peace out.